What up, guys? Activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required for a reaction to occur. It represents kind of an energy barrier that reactants have to overcome before they can transform into something else. Activation energy is why you will never light a log on fire with just a tiny lighter. Chances are you're going to burn yourself or even melt the lighter before you light that, 5-inch diameter log on fire. Combustion is a reaction. And we talk about the fire triangle all the time in our Survival Essentials workshop and our fire science segment. We have fuel, we have heat, and we have air. When we're specifically talking about the bow drill, in order for there to be a coal formed, we have to concentrate enough heat. And so you hear people say, where there's smoke, there's fire. The bow drill teaches us that this is just not the case. We have to build up enough activation energy in the form of heat before that coal will like coalesce and look like the end of a cigarette or become self-stable enough that we can add it to our tinder bundle and then blow it into a flame. But it needs that activation energy. And so when we teach the bow drill, you can go where you can spin the spindle a little bit, fill up, but it's not until you fill that notch up with dust that you need to be like ripping on it, as we say, so that that activation energy can occur, because there's not enough like materials there. You have to spend some time building the materials and collecting things before the reaction can occur. In the first couple days of a survival situation, things are really, really hard. You're exerting a lot. You're hauling debris, particularly if you don't have anything. You're building a debris hut. You're hauling that debris. You're making rope if necessary. You're harvesting branches. And this stuff isn't really hard in itself, but when you're in like the calorically dense, we talk about calories in, calories out, when you haven't got the calories coming in and you're just exerting yourself, it becomes super difficult. On top of that, so the first couple days of a survival situation, you have to like bring these elements together, and that's what we're talking about: building enough activation energy and exerting yourself enough to have that energy that like survival kind of becomes easy. So we've exerted ourselves building a shelter. We have to have a fire because most likely in a true survival situation, we have to purify our water. We have to cook our food. We have to signal to somebody that we're there, and we have to stay warm, right? So we've exerted ourselves from the shelter. At the same time, we're exerting ourselves gathering materials, carving a bow drill kit, harvesting a tinder bundle, carving the pieces of a bow drill kit, and then like ultimately sustaining the fire. Now, Morse Kahansky, but real survival expert in the coldest parts of Canada, says that one man can burn through a cord of firewood a night. Now, a cord of firewood is like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, but 4 feet high. So it's like essentially what a forklift is moving around Home Depot when you go. Like a forklift full of plywood, but logs and stuff in the coldest environments. That's what's necessary to keep you warm. Bottom line, we're exerting ourselves a lot. And we're not even talking about like the water purification part. So like we're boiling, we're creating a container, or we're rock boiling in a sip well, or we're hauling water back to camp if we're in like a less than ideal spot, because we don't want to build our camp in a flood zone. So we're probably going to have to like pull that water up to higher ground. After you put all of those things together, survival comes like orders of magnitude easier. You're now just setting traps, you're fishing, you're gathering food, you're making rope, and like you're fixing your clothes. That's kind of like the habits, like we talked about yesterday, of doing the same thing over and over again. Repeat and deplete. That's what we say. So like you keep doing those things, ultimately the area that you're in is going to become depleted of resources, so you have to move on to the next one. Then you go through this period of exertion while you're building your shelter, purifying the water. But thankfully, that work, some of it you can take with you. Your bow drill kit's really portable. The container that you made, if you're doing like bamboo boiling, if you've locked across something, some wood, or some bamboo, some a bit like container wood, uh, survival becomes order of magnitude easier. We're just like setting traps and looking for those big game that we can take. Going back to talk, we were talking about science and activation energy when we first started this, and like objects in motion tend to stay in motion, and society thrives because the work our ancestors did before us. I know you've heard me say the lessons we learn are written on the tombstones of others, but if we go back to Isaac Newton, he said, I have seen further because I stand on the shoulders of giants. He's talking about like Copernicus and Galileo and Kepler, but as a society, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Like kings from 400 years ago would look at the poorest of our society as gods. Running water, sanitation, fire at the flip of a switch. These are things that were like not even dreamt of 400 years ago. So the question I want to ask you is, what are you doing today to build the activation energy for your future generations? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Our philosophy is summed up in these words: leave it better than you found it. So I'm leaving you with this homework, and to journal about what's one thing that you can do to make survival easier for yourself, your family, and your community. It's all about building activation energy. It's like a bank account. It's like a food storage pantry. It's building enough that other people can survive off the work and the effort that we've put in. If you're building a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So thanks for watching this video. If you've made it this far, I know that you have a passion for life and are serious about surviving whatever the universe throws at you. Drop us a like, make sure you subscribe, and share this videos to your friends if you think that there's something here that they can get out of it. SustainableHomestead.com is the place to go for more information. Look through our resource library, join our weekly Homestead Mastermind, or schedule your own in-person survival training, or join a class already on the calendar and shave decades off the time it would take you to figure this stuff out on your own. We're about helping you achieve abundance more efficiently, cheaper, faster, and more abundantly than we have. Take the lessons that we've learned over like 20 years of studying this stuff and the lessons that our mentors have shared with us. As always, preparation today means peace of mind tomorrow. So we'll see you in the future. Thanks for watching.